All right, it's Friday night. You know what that means. Method of victory video. I can't wait. These are my favorite ones of the night. So we already have a pick on Borjas because of the missed weight from my guy. I'm glad I didn't put a bet in before because he missed weight and he looked horrible. I will say he looked fine at face-offs.
I wonder if he's one of those guys.
Fat ass. I'm just calling all fighters that miss weight fat asses. Jacob already chiming in at Moreno. KO's Erceg. Okay. 2-3-4 KO at plus 650. I like it. All right. If you're new and you've not watched the method of victory, it's very, very simple. All we do is we take turns picking a fight, then we have to pick the winner, and we have to pick the method of victory. It's not inside the distance. You got to pick submission, you got to pick knockout, or you got to pick decision. We're going to add a little wrinkle to the one tonight. And I just told Jim about this one. So this is great. If you're in the comment section, leave us a comment in the chat. Tell us who you like. Give us your own method of victory and leave it in the comment if you're watching this after the fact. Jim, I will be honest. Normally I have these that sales pitches prepared. Oh, we have a 3-month special, which we do have a 3-month special. No, you know what? Here's my sales pitch. Based on what I saw on face-offs and weigh-ins, I added more to my bet on our 5%.
Ooh. Oh, hey, listen.
I don't do this.
May I interrupt?
By all means.
Andy does not do this.
Never.
At all.
No.
Andy is the calm, cool, collected one of the two of us when it comes to MMA. I am the more volume, add the money, confident, let's go. This is pretty epic, folks. I want you guys to understand how serious this is.
It is. I flat bet. I'm a creature to the habit of flat betting now. I went in and I added more to our 5% play. So that is now a much bigger play. I flat bet 2% of my bankroll. I am in a lot more on this one. Like literally based on what I saw today, I have felt unbelievably good about plays after face-offs. Today, I am over the moon with the decisions that we made and the lines that we got. And those lines are still available. That's the other thing. The lines haven't moved like out of control or anything. So if you haven't got the 5%, go get the 5%. If you're interested in the 3-month special that we're running, we are running a 3-month special. It's 30% off. We've turned a profit in an astounding 14 out of the last 17 months. But you guys didn't come here to hear me yammer on about all that. So let's get into the method of victory. Here's what we added. We added, that's my fight. So we're going to take turns. We each get one fight that the other person can't pick. Like there's some fights where we're just like, you know what? I'm so confident in this one, or I so want to pick that one that I don't want the other person to do that. So Jim, I'll let you go first. If there's that's my fight that you want to be the one to pick the winner, do you have one?
I think I do.
Okay.
Even though I'm just finding out about this now, I think I do. I'm going to take the Jamal Emmers fight.
Okay. Emmers, Miranda.
That's my fight.
That's your fight. All right. Well, my fight.
That's my quarterback.
All right. Well, I'm going the Medina Gauthier fight, which I think if you watch the breakdown video, I think you already know where I'm going. But all right. So somebody said they wanted to see our coin flip. Okay, backstage. Oh no, Jim. Just look at your screen. I'll let you call
it. You're all technological on me. This is better than me like rooting around on the ground to find the coin. Yeah, that's
look.
A good point.
Here's a
good
rusted penny.
All
right. So Jim, you ready?
My call it.
I'll call it.
You call it.
All right. So if I get it right, I get the first pick. Here we go. Heads. Hey!
Oh, Andy's already winning.
Heads,
look at this.
It is. All right. So I get the first pick. Jack Spalding comes in with David Martinez by KO. Raul Rosas by sub. I like that. Renato Rodriguez by sub. Ooh. I like it. All right. So what we do here, we pick the method of victory. Generally, our first 3 are by far our most confident plays. And then we kind of, sprinkle a little bit here or there. Last week we were terrible. I don't even want to recap because it was so
Nothing
bad.
to recap.
There was nothing. There was nothing.
0 for 13.
Yeah. So there's going to be a couple that I think are low hanging fruit. And I'm going to take the very first one that I think is low hanging fruit. And I'm going to take Rafa Garcia by decision at minus 200. It's a Vince.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's fighting a 42-year-old who doesn't get finished.
Mm-hmm.
I get the upside of the younger fighter, but a guy in Rafa Garcia who's lost to some pretty bad fighters. He's not losing to a 42-year-old Vince Beachel who's fought what, twice in the last few years. And he's lost to Mark Madsen, who's not fighting anymore. And then he got tuned up in 3 rounds. Listen, if you can go 3 rounds against either of the Bone Fiends, you can go 3 rounds against Rafa Garcia. I think this is the R word fight. And the R is not Rafa. I think the R word might be retirement for Vince. I just think this might be the last time we see Vince. Great career, yay, but I just don't see him getting it done. Rafa Garcia is not a great fighter, but he is against a 42-year-old aging Vince Beachel.
Okay. Not what I expected for your first pick. That throws me for a little loop. I feel
Really?
like the Jets panicking at number 2. I feel like my quarterback just went off the board and I don't know what to do here. I'm panicking a little bit.
That one threw you for a loop?
I did not expect that to be your number 1. I thought I had a clear-cut pick as your number 1. No questions asked.
Okay.
All right. Second one overall. I'm going to take again. this is our most. Give me Medeiros over Austin Hubbard by decision.
Oh, I love this one.
I'm just I got to get this out of the way here. After watching those 2 guys last week, just look so out of their element, but survive.
Well, tell who the guys are.
Well, we had Kurt Hollaba and Cody Gibson, who just looked like dinosaurs.
And what do they all have in common?
Their thing in common, they were all in the Ultimate Fighter where they couldn't even put a cast together. So they dug up 15 ancient fighters that were past their prime and put them on there, and they beat the shit out of a bunch of guys that were fighting nobodies. And we all overvalued them when they got back to the UFC. That's what happened.
Truth.
It's pretty cut and dry what happened there with that one. So I'll take him by decision at plus 120. I think Hubbard can stick around, but I don't see him eking out the decision. There's just no danger coming his way.
I agree. I had that exact same pick in that one. Did you? I don't know if you saw face-offs or anything, but Austin Hubbard is just.
He looked pretty miserable.
He looked tubby and yet still too skinny all the same time. It was just. Yeah. It's just really, really bad. Okay, I'm trying to figure out which, because there's 2 obvious ones that I think you would have pegged me to pick. So I'll go with the one that I think that you thought I was going to go first. I'll go David Martinez by KO. Was that the one? Okay.
That was the one. That was the one. Good guess, bud. Yeah, I almost took that at 2 because you didn't take it.
Well, it's going to make the top 3.
Yeah.
Cameron Simon's hips and abdomen was so sunken at face-offs, and David Martinez gets up on the scales, and like I told Jim, it looked like he was ready to run through a brick wall just for the chance to knock out another human being. I think David Martinez murders this guy, and we have not been that high on guys making their debut off a Contender Series. This is not like a big, but when you're fighting this guy, when you're fighting Simon Oliveira,
smells like a handshake behind closed doors kind of fight.
Yes, absolutely. Love you, Mr. Bubbles. Of course you would go against us. It's a Bubbles thing. Like we say one thing, he just puts a comment. It's like, no, go in the opposite. Like we said, Jack is in on Martinez by KO. Let's go Martinez by KO. Rosas by sub may make an appearance here a little bit later. And JRG loves Loopy by decision. Different kind of energy fighting on the Mexican cards. Like that one. All right, Jim, we are at number 4. Who you like?
Number 4. Well, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about our Loopy Godinez. So I will go with Loopy, and I will go with Loopy by decision.
Yeah. Good.
I
Good
think
call.
Loopy's going to look great in this fight. I think she's going to look fantastic. I'm a little worried that it's such a wash on the ground that she could nail a sub. I wouldn't hate a sprinkle on the sub, but you got to go by the method of victory that is most common with this fighter. I just think Loopy is so prime and ready to go. I love that she left Mexico, went to Canada to train, and then came back down here 2 weeks ahead of time. That tells me she knows that the altitude is going to affect. She did cross train. She went to go try to get better. And I'm hoping she went to Canada and she hung out with Jazz Devicious and she's like, hey, Loopy, you see how I've been winning all these fights with the wrestling? You're better than me. You maybe should try to use it. So I think this could look like a wash here. Loopy, unanimous decision. I know we're worried about the split, but man, she could look like minus 400 on the ground.
You've got several things going here for Loopy that I like in the motivation. The change of camp. She's lost 2 straight. This is different for her. No more screwing around. And then,
Yep.
dude, how do you go? I mean, talk about a step down. We always talk about step ups in competition. Jandaroba, Mackenzie Dern, and now Julia Pilastri.
Right?
Like this feels like Loopy by decision all day. You're right. The sub is the one thing that we're worried about would be the Loopy sub. But if she decides to be a striker once again, then yeah, who knows?
I think she could still win.
Okay.
Even if we're striking. I love her in this spot.
All right. I'm going to throw you for a little bit of a Loopy. No, I'm just kidding. A bad play on words. I'm going to throw you for a little bit of Loop. I said that I think that if Gastelum wins, it's by decision, and if Pfeiffer wins, it's by KO. And I think Pfeiffer gets him out of there.
Whoa!
Did you
Okay,
see
now.
face-offs?
Well, I saw Kelvin Gastelum not be able to step onto the scale without falling into it.
Pfeiffer towers.
Yeah, he does.
Over him.
He does.
I did not see that coming. Mm-hmm. How big Pfeiffer was. So you have Gastelum, who thank God made weight finally. But what did he put his body through to get down there? He didn't look that great, and Pfeiffer looks absolutely ready to rock and roll. I just thought there was a good aura about him. And I've been very clear. Gastelum wins by decision or Pfeiffer wins by KO. And now I get plus 240 on one of those options. So I'm going to take Pfeiffer. I think this is a violent first round. And I think we see Pfeiffer walking out of there with the KO victory.
It'll be a hell of a feat if he can do it, knocking out Gastelum. It'd be great to see. I wanna see Joe Pfeiffer be good.
Pfeiffer's so marketable. He's likable. There's something about him. We need more of these guys. Yeah. So I'm with you 100%. All right, number 6.
Okay, let's go to. This is a tough ranking. I'm thrown for such a loop here. Let's take Rosas. Let's get him out of the way. You know it's Rosas by sub. Okay. I don't need to really explain this one too much. Vince Morales is 0-2 since he's come back to the UFC. They are tossing him to this guy. Did you see Vince's nose?
What is going on with Morales? Did he get in a bar fight last week?
He just fought 2 weeks ago.
5 weeks ago. I said
and his nose got crushed. And now he's fighting again. The thing is not healed. You can see the internals. Like, look at Vince's picture before the last fight and after. He looks still like the after picture.
It's crazy.
Like, I think Rosas is going to smoke him. This is like, all right, you got one more fight in your contract. Get the fight, get paid. You're probably getting cut. You go 0-3, and it's the last we see of him. So I'm not going to miss the last opportunity to fade Vince Morales because I made it a point to fade him since he came back, and we've made damn good money fading this guy.
This fight stinks. I've never seen a guy like Vince Morales take a fight after 5 weeks.
Dude, he got the brakes beat off.
That's what I mean. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if like he loses this one and all of a sudden has like a Cage Warriors contract or like some like other thing was like, go get your ass kicked. You know, we'll work with UFC. They'll cut you and then we'll give you a payday for being a former UFC fighter. So, all right. But you're right. Like, dude,
I have to bet against the guy who took damage 4 weeks ago.
Last month.
Have to.
last month. I'm with you. I'm with you. All right, now we're getting down to a little bit of the nitty gritty. I'm going to fast forward to the main event, and I'm going to take Brandon Moreno by decision.
Okay.
I think the grappling is going to steal some rounds. And Moreno is just so quick and light on the feet. I just don't see him taking too much damage. His last fight against Alpazi, I mean, he pieced him up on the feet for all 5 rounds. It looked like he could fight the next day. He just didn't. He didn't absorb a whole lot. Erceg's not that great with his takedown defense and such. I think this is a schooling by Brandon Moreno, and we were worried about his last fight coming back. Where it's like, well, he brought up retirement. How good's he going to look? Better than ever.
Yeah.
So I'm in on Brandon Moreno. I just don't think he gets him out of there. I think this is 5 rounds. Kind of contain your cardio, don't gas yourself, and pull away late. So Moreno by decision plus 110.
I like it. I like Moreno in that spot. Let's get the most violent fight out of the night. Torres and Dober. I thought Torres looked like absolute shit on the scales.
Okay.
Absolute shit. I went back and watched these fights, and if you guys were on the live stream last week, I said, Torres all day. I am completely flip-flopped. I'm taking Drew Dober by knockout.
By KO. All right.
Drew Dober by KO.
I don't have the odds on that one. What's that one?
Let me just... I didn't even look at the odds. I don't need to know the odds.
Here, you make your case.
I
will.
So, I think Torres, going back and watching his fights, I pegged him as my Jordan Wright. And just watching his film confirmed all of that for me. His chin is so up in the air when he is striking. And I feel like he's going to hurt Dober. He's going to hurt him early. And at the 2.5-minute mark of the first round, he is going to be breathing heavy and just sucking wind. And he is going to be a sitting duck for 17 more minutes or 13 more minutes.
Whatever
it is. Torres has to finish him in the first 2 minutes of this fight, or I think it's over for him. So Dober, knowing that and being a vet, you got to know you got to survive for 2 minutes. After that, I think he's just a sitting duck, man. Sitting duck. The cardio is a big problem. Weight cut looked like shit. Give me Dober.
All right, we got Dober by KO coming in, starting to get down to the nitty gritty. I'm trying to see if I have any longer. I'm going to say, well, I mean, clearly we save our "That's my fight" for the last 2 because there's no reason.
That's our fight, exactly.
Those are fights. All right, I'm going to go to the Ronaldo Rodriguez by decision because that's what I had initially penciled in. And then he missed weight and he looked absolutely horrific. The box guy was like, "No, he's done." That's a quote. No, he's done. He's not. He can't cut weight anymore. He looked terrible. And then I watched face-offs tonight, and there he is, looking just fine. So I went from Rolando Rodriguez to going, "Oh nope, this ain't gonna work." Borjas, and then I'm back. I'm back to Ronaldo Rodriguez. Give me that. What do we say about him? He's got that dog in him. So what? He had a terrible weight cut. He's going to show up to face-offs and look good. He's going to be just fine.
Anymore. Couldn't agree anymore.
Okay.
He always doesn't look great at weigh-ins. Like, he makes weight, but he's a big, thick guy.
Yeah.
Like, he just is. So, like, and he missed by what, a pound?
He missed by a pound. Again, it's part of the job.
He didn't miss by 4. Like he couldn't run on the treadmill, like he's injured.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's part of the job. You got to make weight. But I'm going Ronaldo Rodriguez by decision. I'm back on the Ronaldo Rodriguez bandwagon again.
I like it.
So, all right, number 10.
All right, Martinez is off the board. Rodriguez is off the board. Everybody, all the real confident ones are off the board. Let's hit Edgar Chairez and CJ Vergara.
Okay.
Boy, Chairez didn't look good at weigh-ins too either, did he?
He's a big guy. His weight cuts are tough. They always are.
Big guy, a big guy. Now CJ Vergara looks like a bag of milk. So I don't know what to do as far as the side, but I tell you this: if Chairez doesn't get this done in the first 2 minutes, this is going to be Vergara.
Ooh,
it's going to be Vergara. So again, I'm going to count on altitude. Remember, we had a PFL card with altitude where all these big finishers were nullified. after 2 minutes of a fight. Give me Vergara by decision, man.
Ooh,
I
love
have
this
serious
one.
questions about Chairez's cardio going into this fight. He might get tired just from chasing CJ around that octagon, not
This
even
is a
throwing
good one.
punches.
This is a
So,
real good one.
yeah, give me Vergara by decision.
Yeah, I like where you're at with that one, for sure. So, if you guys could hit the like button, if you're watching this after the fact, hit the like button, leave us a comment, tell us your best one. Love hearing what you guys are on for the method of victory. This is one of my favorite videos of the week to do. So, appreciate everybody watching. All right, number 11. Before we get to that's my fight. So the suspects are pretty limited. We got the C-Rod and the Milky Costa fight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go a little bit different here. I'm going to go Costa by decision.
Okay.
The worry is Costa's his cardio. His cardio can go away after the first round. But what if Christian Rodriguez just can't get the grappling, wrestling, ground game going? Like, C-Rod's not a great wrestler. Like, remember when he beat Raul Rosas? He beat Rosas because Rosas got exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that at altitude, Costa doesn't need to go balls to the wall, and he shouldn't go balls to the wall. But he's going to have the big advantage on the feet for sure. The striking is going to be there for Costa all day. I got Costa like first round. I think he looks good, and then the second round could be pretty close, and then the third round, yeah, maybe C-Rod gets some grappling in. But when I'm looking at judging, who's got the much more exciting like fighting style? It's Costa all day. It's
Yeah.
C-Rod. C-Rod's not an exciting fighter. So I think
People love him. I don't see it.
it's the prospect killer. Oh, the whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I was gonna go Costa by KO, but then I was like, what if he manages his cardio really, really well and just doesn't put himself in harm's way and works on the clinch, defense and everything. So I'll take Costa by decision. That's kind of a little one. It's one that's a little bit out there. I haven't seen that one. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think Costa wins by finish? Is that his only path?
No, I don't. I think
Okay.
that's a misconception in this fight.
Okay.
Look, Rodriguez has to win 2 rounds. Like if Costa banks 2, of course he takes his foot off the gas in the third and plays it safe. And he most certainly could bank 2.
Mm-hmm.
I think decision's on the table.
Like it. All right. That's my fight was the Emmers Miranda fight. Where are you going with this one?
Well, it ain't because I love Jamal Emmers. It's because I can't stand Miranda.
Okay.
That's where we're going with this thing, okay? Jamal Emmers looked fantastic on the scales. Doesn't he just look like a monster? Now,
Yeah,
I
he
didn't
looked
see
really
face-offs, all right? I was at the school teaching tonight.
He put his hands in his pocket, walked up. I don't know. It was a little bit calm and cocky, but he shook hands with Miranda, kind of with the confidence of, I'm going to knock your motherfucking ass out.
Calm, cool, and collected, right? I'd love
Yeah.
to see it. I'm going with Emmers by KO. I think the long distance strikes are going to be a huge problem here. We'll see some desperate takedowns early from Miranda, and if he can't get them, then it's going to be Emmers on the feet, and we just know how that story is going to end. If Emmers engages in the grappling, I'm going to be absolutely flipping out. And he probably is going to engage in the grappling, but I just can't ignore
myself.
I can't ignore the poor quality of his opponent in Miranda here. So, Emmers by KO.
If anybody had the "I'm just happy to be here" look, it was Miranda. Miranda looked
all right. I feel even better. Perfect.
Looked pretty excited to be there. So, all right. For my last one, I'm going Medina by KO.
Love it
at plus 1,000. I'm just sitting there looking at beefed up Gaudier. By the way, I have no idea how to pronounce his name. I've heard Gaudier. I've heard Gaudier. So I just think this inexperienced, very raw contender series debutant at altitude, carrying a lot of muscle with not a lot of sophistication to his game, is going to get tired. And guess who he's fighting? The one guy on the guard who I would say is probably not getting finished. Go through all the who can take the punch on the chin or the shots to the body more than Medina. I think this is going to be one of those like Muhammad Ali up against the
Mm,
ropes, just
punches
getting
himself out. Yeah.
his ass kicked. And I
Mhm.
think Gautier is not going to be smart enough to help himself. I think he's going to punch himself out. And once he punches himself out, it's over. This guy's 7 pro fights. This
Mhm.
guy's not he's not ready for UFC. This is one of those guys where they look at him, they're like, "Oh, sweet, raw talent." But listen, there's coming off a contender series and having raw talent, and then there's coming off a contender series and having raw talent with no gas tank. That's
Mhm.
a big, big problem. Medina will be there in the 3rd round, I promise you. So I think Garcia gets tired, and once he gets tired carrying all that muscle, like he's too shredded, man. He's too muscular for
I
for the
agree. I,
like
I didn't think he looked great at weigh-ins. The look on his face looked a little deer in headlightsy, and I wonder if this moment is going to be too big for him.
I
And
was
it's
I
going
was
to play right into like going hard in the first and then just being done.
I was going to ask you about this. So there are some sports that I've played where I have loved going up against the big muscular guy
Mhm.
because they're not too fast. They gas out early. Like sometimes in a sport I could watch like soccer. If when I was younger and I played soccer and they had this like big super muscular strong forward, I was like, oh great, he's going to be worthless in the second half.
Yeah.
All I got to do is just make him run around a
Yep.
little bit. Now I don't have to worry about him. In your world, do you get excited when you see some of these gas bags?
You don't get excited because of what you're going to have to go through to get there. Does that make sense?
That is so well said. Please
Okay.
expand upon that because that
You,
is
you,
great.
you don't get excited because it's going to suck. Like,
You're
there's
going to
no
get hit.
going into it like, this is going to be great. No, this is going to suck. There's somebody who's way more physically gifted than me that is going to hit me twice as hard as I can hit them. Now, as you get older and you get more knowledgeable and you're forced to slow down and be the one that's not as strong, not as fast, you figure out the tricks of the trade to do it. I'll call fighters like Chris Lytle, great late career resurgence, right? Journeyman figured out how to fight old. Robbie Lawler, another great
Mm,
one. Okay, had to change his style, made it work for him. Let these guys gas out. It's not fun because you are going to wake up the next day and you are going to know what you went through. However, you salivate at the fact of the first chink in the armor. The moment that you see that first moment of, or the eyes get big. I've said that on the live stream, right? You see a guy's eyes get big. Uh-oh, we got a problem here. So, is it exciting? Yeah, but he's going to feel it the next day. Let's put it this way. Medina will be showing this fight on his face, win or lose or draw. I think so.
that's great, man. That is such great insight. Always appreciate your insight into some of this stuff. But yeah, I looked at Gautier at weigh-ins. I was like, I don't know, man. If he doesn't get Medina out of there early, and this thing is like, well, Gautier, he's gonna knock the guy out, and it was like they gave him a guy with terrible skills, but a guy that has a cast iron chin.
Yeah.
Do you realize? I just realized this. Medina made it on to Contender Series because he made it onto Contender Series, and then he made it into UFC because Dana White thoroughly enjoyed
Hmm.
watching him get his ass kicked. Like,
Yep.
loved it. It was like, man, I had so much fun watching you get your ass kicked. The guy that kicked his ass isn't in the UFC. Medina lasted longer. How?
Yeah.
Isn't that
Yeah. Lasted longer. I thought Medina also looked fantastic on the scale,
He didn't look as pudgy. He did
right?
not. He looked
He
like in
like
shape a little bit.
I feel like there was a moment where it was like, look, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. He reminds me of Fluffy Hernandez.
Mm,
Remember how everybody was out on Fluffy?
yeah.
Then all of a sudden he taps out
All of
what's
a
his
sudden, he's
name?
like, I'm going to cardio everybody to death.
Yeah, I'm just gonna cardio you to death. I'm gonna be tougher than you. I'm gonna eat your leg kicks. They're gonna hurt. I'm gonna get the takedown and go through it. If Medina can get some skills to his chin and his cardio, he could be dangerous, man. Look, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard.
I
That
love
simple.
it. I love it. I love it. All right, that's going to do it for the Method of Victory. Thank you so much for everybody joining us. I will be live on Takedown Live tomorrow. Jim will get there if you can. Um, we're lucky enough to have somebody on our live stream that can't make it to our live stream because they are literally having
Fights.
fights at his own business. So it's allowed. It's allowed. So thanks very much. Everyone hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll see everyone tomorrow on TikTok. And seriously, go get that 5% play. I don't tell people I put a bunch more money on a certain play, hardly ever, maybe ever, but this play in particular, I did absolutely 5% play. So good luck to everybody. We'll see everyone tomorrow on the live stream, and we'll see everyone later.
Good luck, guys.